بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. So in the previous lesson we discussed this jurisprudential maxim شرط الفاسد ليس بمفسد. When you have an invalidated condition within a contract, that invalidated condition does not necessarily spoil the contract. So the contract still goes through despite having a condition which is weird or a condition which is illegal. Still that contract can go through. And so what is the madrak for this? We need to discuss the evidence for this maxim. Evidence number one, ما روي عن المشايخ الثلاثة. مشايخ الثلاثة, when they say three sheikhs, who are the three sheikhs? Don't go too far to 1400 years, you know. Yeah.
That's Shaykhain.
Yeah, but some they say three. But those are Al-Kulayni, Al-Mufid, Al-Tusi. Those are the three mashayikh. Whenever it says the three mashayikh, it means those great scholars. And in fact, the third one, Al-Tusi, has also a title, Shaykh al-Ta'ifa. Shaykh al-Ta'ifa. Whenever it says Shaykh al-Ta'ifa, it means the leader of the Ta'ifa, the tradition, the school. This is a Shaykh al-Tusi. Shaykh al-Tusi was the one who started the seminary of Najaf. He used to be in Baghdad. He was attacked by the radicals. His house was burned down. His library, his books were dumped in the Tigris River. His books in the Tigris River. It changed the color of the water. So he had to leave because of the muta'assibin, the radicals, who used to attack and silence every voice. I mentioned the story of even Tabari. Imam al-Tabari, who was accused of being sympathetic to Ahlul Bayt. So Shaykh al-Tusi had to leave and take refuge in Najaf about 1,000 years ago, or even more. And he established the Hawzatul Najaf al-Ashraf. So Sahihatul Halabi an Abi Abdullah. Al-Imam al-Sadiq, Sahihatul Halabi. This is Sahiha. Sahihatul Halabi. An Abi Abdullah, which is Al-Imam al-Sadiq. An Abi Abdullah al-Sadiq alayhi salam. I'll read and translate if you want to write the hadith. There was a female slave called Burayrah. A female slave called Burayrah. كانت عند زوج لها وهي مملوكة فاشترتها عائشة. She was owned by her owner, but at the same time her owner allowed someone to marry her. At that time, either the owner can have her as a wife, وَمَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ, what your right hand possess, so you can, have an affair with them and have children. ملك اليمين, either zawaj, marriage, or ملك اليمين. So if he owns her, he has the right to be with her, be intimate with her, and to have children. If not, he doesn't want to be intimate with her, he can give her in marriage to someone else. Okay? So she can be owned by her master, still owned by him, but she's married to someone else. So Aisha came and she purchased this female slave. Those who sold this female slave to Aisha, they made a condition, shart, that this female slave should be separated from her husband. If we sell her to you, okay, you are purchasing her, then marriage has to end. And you have control over her. So we take her away from her husband. The previous owner put this condition. A condition. The act, the contract is what? Purchase. You are purchasing. But there is a condition in that contract that once we sell this female slave, then she is separated from her husband, no longer his wife. So the case was brought before the Prophet ﷺ. Aisha had money, she purchased this. The Prophet said this. The Prophet ﷺ, فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم الولاء لمن أعتق. They put a condition that you leave your husband and you stay with Aisha. Only with this condition we sell you. With this condition. So they put a condition. The Prophet said this condition is not accepted because Aisha wanted her to still purchase her and stay with her husband. Don't separate from her husband. So you are changing the title, the ownership title. The marriage is intact. She would keep her marital status to this man. So the Prophet said the new owner has the right to decide. And that condition is fasid. We don't honor it. We don't honor. Al-wala'u liman a'taq. The Prophet said this. Very small sentence. Small sentence. The hadith. Al-wala'u liman a'taqa. Aisha, she purchased her and she released her. So now the new owner has the right over that. The new owner, not the previous owner. The condition of the previous owner is invalid. So Aisha, she continued, she endorsed the marriage because she has the right. Though they put a condition, but that condition didn't go through. And the marriage was intact. The marriage didn't change. In this contract, the marriage went through. It didn't hurt the marriage. Though it was against the condition, but the marriage, the contract was still valid. But the condition was invalid. دلت على صحة العقد. This hadith is a proof, dalala, a proof and an indication that zawaj is still intact. Though they wanted her to leave her husband and go to Aisha, but this hadith indicated that her marriage is intact. وَفَسَادُ الشَّرْطِ. The shart that they put the previous owners, the previous owner put a condition that she is separated from her husband, that condition is not honored by the previous owner. It's not honored.
What does the sentence mean? Al-wala min a'taq.
Al-wala, it means I decide. The one who purchased and freed, he decides what to happen, what is the fate of this person.
And then what is the meaning of the sentence?
Wala. Wala means guardianship,
okay.
Decision or guardianship. So the guardianship can still, the new guardian, he decides what happens. If he wants that person to come to him or to stay with the previous owner or the previous husband.
So ata means new owner?
Hmm?
The word ata means
أعتق
new owner.
from itq, the one who did the itq, the one who purchased it. Okay. Now, so this is a hadith. And this hadith we see the Prophet, he says, the purchase is correct, but the condition is not correct. And therefore, the condition is not going to hurt the contract. What is the second dalil? So this is a riwayah. This is the riwayah. The first dalil is this. What is the second? The second, عدم الدليل على البطلان. We don't have an evidence that a condition within a contract is going to invalidate the contract, a bad condition. They are separated from each other. Yes, sometimes, as I said yesterday, as I said, the condition hurts the contract. How does it hurt? It contradicts with the contract. The condition contradicts. I hired you to lie. I didn't hire you to speak the truth. I hired you because you are a good liar. This is why I'm hiring you. So his job is based on lying. If you don't lie, you are not helping me. You are not an employee if you don't lie in this, the example that we gave yesterday. Okay, he hired someone, to work for him. But you have to lie. Because your job depends on lying. If you don't lie, I'm not benefiting from you. Then this is hurting the contract. But if he says to him, lie outside the job, I'm not asking you to lie something related to the work. No, when you go to your wife, for instance, say, I was there, or I was, say something else. If you go to your father, say something else. If you go, this is different, because that one has nothing to do with his job. It's not related to his job. But sometimes the lie is related to the job. And the lie is unacceptable, therefore it is going to hurt the contract. That shart al-fasid, the bad condition is going to hurt the contract. Because I hired you to lie. Otherwise, there are many other people. Or I hired you to steal. Your job is just to steal, not to do something else. Now, the example of yesterday, someone goes to a country, he misleads girls in the name of marriage, he brings them to Europe, they work prostitutes. If the father of that girl finds out about his daughter, does he have the right to go to Italy and hold her hand and bring her back home? And he says, this is not a marriage. You don't even have to divorce her because the marriage did not take place. Or no, he has to do divorce. He has to divorce her from this guy.
So the contract was invalid, so the contract doesn't even exist.
Contract doesn't even exist. So the father has the right to take her hand and bring her. There is no divorce because the marriage did not take place. There was no contract. The contract was invalid, batil. Batil. So you don't have to go and do divorce because there is no marriage. Whereas if he married her, misled her to do other things, extra things. Because what is expected from marriage? The ulama, they say, give this example. They say, can a marriage be based, a husband and wife, they decide to get married, but there is no intimacy. Is that marriage acceptable?
If it's mutually accepted,
Uh-huh.
it can be.
What do you think? No intimacy in this marriage.
You mentioned yesterday you have to have it.
No intimacy at all? Or
At
after?
all, at all. No, at all. No intimacy.
Yes, it's acceptable. Yes, it is acceptable.
They say it's not. Because what is expected from marriage is intimacy. Intimacy is an important part of this marriage. We don't call it marriage if there is no intimacy. Call it a friendship, don't call it marriage. Even if both, a mutual agreement, they say that doesn't go through. Because you are removing an important foundation from marriage. Therefore, it's not called marriage. So that contract doesn't go through. Yes, for instance, no intimacy in the month of Ramadan, let's say. No intimacy for 6 months, let's say, something like that. Okay.
For the first
For the first
50 years. The first 100 years.
But marriage without intimacy is not marriage. So this condition hurts the concept of marriage. This is why this is not a contract. It will hurt the contract.
Is there, say, a time period for the intimacy? I mean,
Huh?
is there a time period for the intimacy? I mean, a certain amount of time?
Yeah, they may.
Or
No. That one. If the husband is not allowed, there are two theories. One is that he's not allowed to abandon his wife more than 4 months. This is the customary theory. This is the typical theory.
you physically abandon her?
Yes, yeah, without intimacy, meaning without intimacy for more than 4 months. It's forbidden and haram. However, there are scholars who say no, it depends on her. Some women can wait 4 months, some women cannot wait 4 weeks. So he shouldn't. If that hurts her, it creates usr and haraj, extreme hardship for her,
Okay.
then even 4 weeks.
So the people that go 4 months without intimacy, what happens then?
He's committing sin,
Oh,
violation, yeah.
what do you got to do?
Well, guy, you have to, you prescribe medicine for him, you have immediately.
New specialty, okay. No, but you don't have to marry the again or nothing like that.
No, it is a ground for divorce, but not immediate. If that continues to happen,
Right.
then this gives her ground for divorce. Yeah. So that is different. If they have an agreement, let's say specific period, no problem. But if there is marriage, no, we don't touch each other, then this is not a contract. They say this type of marriage. It's like the example of selling the grapes only to be wine, because I'm not going to use it for something else. This is a huge. Am I going to eat all this? I'm not going to sit and watch it. So if he puts a condition that this is only for wine, then it is hurting the contract itself. Then that bay' doesn't go through. Or another example, in bay', he puts a condition that hurts the contract, such as what?
In that grape example?
No. Let's say grape or other than a grape. Piece of land, house. I sell you the house, but you don't own it. They say this is not a contract. It's not a contract. How do you sell me the house and I don't own it? Sell, it entails the transfer of the title. So I own it. Because some people do this. I sell you this house, give me the money. Sometimes they have khayar option for 7 days, for 1 month. If I need it, give me my money back, give me my house, give you your money back. But sometimes no. He says, because I don't know about the market, what happens. So give me the money, but you don't own. That doesn't happen because tamlik.
Who would be crazy enough to take that offer anyway?
Yeah. Yeah, they say, I give you the keys, you use it.
Oh,
I'll give you the keys. It is at your disposal, but it is not in your name.
I see.
Yeah. Sometimes he gives them the car, for instance. Use the car, but I'm not, You gave him the money, he didn't sign that pink slip. Okay? So, bay' entails tamlik, ownership. immediately. So if he puts a condition that no tamlik, no ownership, then this is hurts the contract, and therefore this is not bay'. The contract is invalid, unacceptable. We don't call it contract. The second دليل عدم الدليل على البطلان. It means that we don't have an evidence that a corrupt condition is going to invalidate the contract. We need a dalil. We don't have dalil on that. Beside, أن العقد والشرط التزامين مستقلين. We have two things. Here we have something called contract. This is عقد, contract. Marriage, sale, whatever, rent. Another thing called condition. A condition. Yeah, a condition. A contract and a condition. These are two separate things. So if this is corrupt, it doesn't necessarily mean this is corrupt, unless this one encroaches on that one, encroaches on the tenant of that one, on the principles, on the foundations. If it happens, if it encroaches on the principles, then it will corrupt the contract too. Like the example that we give. He's selling, but he's not transferring the title. This will encroach on the title. So in that case, فَلَا يَسْرِي فَسَادُ الشَّرْطِ إِلَى الْعَقْدِ. The fasad of the condition does not move. لا يسري. It does not get to the necessarily makes the contract fasid or invalid. Yes. Yes.
If there is a marriage contract,
Yes.
and the wife says that I want to put this condition that I have the right to divorce,
Yeah.
is that
Yeah. This is valid. This is valid. Yeah, because you agree that whenever she's not feeling happy in this marriage, you have given her now, at the time of marriage, not later on. Later on, too late. Before you tie the knot, before you sign, you tell her whenever you feel you are unhappy, on my behalf, you have the right to get divorced. On my behalf. Now I'm giving you the permission. Rather than 15 years later, 20 years, I'm giving you the permission now. Once you feel unhappy, التماس دعاء. Go home.
Signs the dear janitor.
Yeah. So this happens. But another example of this. Can a wife tell her husband, you have no right to marry another wife while you are married to me? Period.
Can a wife say that?
I am asking.
Yeah. You
Be careful when you answer. Think about it, huh?
Yes.
If she's Sayyid, so from the Sayyid, she can, right?
Don't say Sayyid, not Sayyid. No, no. Leave this.
Oh, that's not part of it?
No, not part of it. No, I'll explain. I know what you mean. I know. But this is not what you think. No. A wife tells her husband at the time of marriage contract that I am marrying you, but you should not marry someone else. Haram upon you to marry a second wife. Can she say this or not?
Yes.
She can say it, but it doesn't invalidate the marriage, the contract. If he doesn't do it, it doesn't invalidate.
It doesn't invalidate. But can she ask him? Can she put this as this condition is acceptable or unacceptable? Let's go step by step.
unacceptable?
Why yes, why no?
It's an invalid condition on a valid contract.
No. The contract will go through.
That's what I'm saying. It's an
No.
invalid condition on a valid contract.
No. But why we are asking?
Why is it invalid?
Why this? Because one said yes, he said no, he said yes.
Oh.
So tell me why yes, why no? Why Does she have the right?
Because it doesn't.
Is this acceptable condition or unacceptable condition?
Well, I mean, it's against God's law, sort of, right?
Yeah.
God gives
Uh-huh. So?
So God gives that law, yeah, and she can't change that. She can't add
Uh-huh.
it from her.
Exactly.
It's in the Sharia.
She can say this to him, that if you want to marry a second wife, I cannot forbid you because this is God's law. She cannot change something from being okay, permissible, into being forbidden. This is changing God's law. However, what can she say, her right to say, is that if you want to marry someone else, then divorce me. She can put this as a condition. Divorce me first, and then go and marry.
Yeah.
She can do that. This is okay. But if she tells him, no, you are married to me, you cannot marry another person. She cannot say this. This condition is invalid because she is forbidding something made permissible by God. But if she tells him, listen, I can't take this. I can't share you with another, person.
No, at the same time, she's not asking for something haram. She says you're not going to marry another person. But she's not asking him to do something haram.
But she's
No. Forbidding something permissible. Forbidding him from doing something permissible. Not asking him to commit haram. But even if you forbid him from doing something permissible, God made it permissible.
That's
Unless you find a leeway, and the leeway is divorce me. Divorce me, then it's okay. It's okay. And this is exactly what they say, even in Iran, I've seen in the contract. If you want to marry, she has the right. Sign here that she has the right to get divorced. You cannot gather two of them. If she wants to sign. Sometimes she says, no, okay, let him marry. So most people, they sign.
and collect 1,000 gold coins.
The first wife, you mean?
The man
She
makes
does?
1,000 gold coins.
She does?
Yeah, some people do that.
Yeah. But even if he gives her 1 million golden coins, the destruction of the family is worse than that. Okay.
So Maulana,
Yes.
the first madrak is the buyer.
Mm.
So the new buyer now bought the slave.
Mm-hmm.
Does the new buyer have the right to cancel the marriage so you can't go back to your husband?
As long as he did not free her. If he did not free her or him, then yes, he has the right, the new buyer, to say that you were married to that person because the previous owner allowed you. I am the new owner, I don't allow you. I own you to myself. So she, as long as, but once they free them, khalas, bad, it's too late.
So that marriage is going to be automatically...
Yes, continues, the marriage continues. In which case?
No, if the new owner says...
I want you for me.
Yes.
Yeah. That marriage will end. That marriage will end and she has to go through waiting period. And then the new owner can have a relationship without marriage. No marriage because she's owned. Of course, these things of the past, they don't work now.
Would he have to officially divorce her? Yeah, I mean, or not really?
Yeah.
You have to officially.
Yes, yes. Because that was a marriage between them.
Right.
A marriage. Yeah.
Said, can I ask a question? When do judges usually use this maxim? In what is it like?
Wow,
is it on the,
they use it
No,
a
no, no,
lot,
I mean,
a lot.
Is it more on the front end of the contract when they're trying to get to a negotiation of contract, or is it after the contract's been signed and they're now?
No. After they go, usually people go to the judge. They don't tell the judge about the contract, of course, about the conditions they put. Once they quarrel, okay?
After the contract's signed?
Yeah. Two partners, for instance, regarding marriage, that I put a condition that don't take me out of state. Now he wants to take me out of state. Or I put a condition that I have the right to work. Now he doesn't allow me to work. Now, when they go to court, does that mean that their marriage was invalid? No. The marriage was marriage. The conditions are something else. So they look into these conditions. Yes, if they find out that they married, he said to her, she said to him, you marry me, you don't touch me. And he agreed because he's in love, he's crazy. He just wants to marry her. So he said, okay, whatever you accept. Then in this case, the judge realizes that this marriage, not even a marriage between them. Usually when they have conflicts, or between the landlord and the tenant, between the two, the seller and the buyer, and it happens, these conditions.
It's after.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
I have one question.
Yes.
I feel discomfort about the question of slavery. Of course, maybe this is not the place to raise this matter.
Yeah, in this lesson, it's not the place because this is something completely separate. Yeah. We discussed this in a. Yeah, we are not speaking whether slavery is good or bad. No, this is not the place. This is of the past. They give an example. The hadith of the Prophet came because of that case. But they use it. It's not exclusively for the slavery case, no. They use it now. They give an example that the new owner has the right. Previous owner, even if he puts a condition, the new owner has the right and the contract is valid. The contract is valid. The new owner can change it. It doesn't hurt the contract. Maybe he's doing something illegal. Maybe he's doing something illegal. He can take him to court to sue him because you breached the contract. But the contract is valid. The contract itself is valid. The sale was done. This is the difference. This theory does not say, this maxim does not say you have no right to take him to court. No, it says the contract is right. Separate between two issues. Separate between the sale and that condition. You may sue him for not honoring that condition. But the sale is done, final. The marriage is final. They are married now. This is the difference, my friends. So in case of a lady who puts condition and then the husband does not honor none of them, she puts 10 points. Then he marries her and he honors none of them. They take him to court. He's muqassir, he's delinquent. But the marriage is valid. Their marriage is valid. It doesn't hurt their marriage. But she has the right to take him to court because he didn't honor these conditions. And does she have right to divorce? Yes. Yes. But now she's his wife. But in the case of that guy who took her to take her as a prostitute, marriage did not take place. It didn't take place. Because he took her for something else, completely else. Not to become his wife, but to be a prostitute. So the father can come, take her hand and go home. No divorce.
So question, say to that point then, interesting. So in the case like you said about the wife saying you can't marry someone else, right? So we said the contract.
As long as I'm your wife.
As long as I'm your wife.
Yeah.
So let's say he gets married, right? So the contract is in place.
Mm-hmm.
So then he does go and get another wife, and now she takes him to court saying he breached a condition. What would the judge, he would say the contract is fine, but what does he do with the condition?
The judge will ask, the judge first of all will say to her, be patient, sabr, inshallah. This is the first thing. If that does not work, she says, no, I'm going to commit suicide. Then in this case, he tells him, either you leave the new wife and stay with your old one, or you divorce the old one if she cannot stay with you and stay with the new one.
Okay, so they truly address the condition in the contract.
Separate, of course, because the marriage is marriage. She married him. That's it. The marriage is done.
But he can still be reprimanded for the condition.
Of course, if he breaches the contract, definitely. You know, in Iran, they take him to jail. They take him to jail because you have to sign. You have to sign 15 signatures. So if you breach one of these, they take him to jail.
Wow.
Yeah. Because he breached the contract. Or in other countries, for that sake. Okay. The second, my friends, we don't have enough time for the second maxim because it is long. Yeah, so we leave it for next time. The second maxim. Yeah, I was going to speak about the second maxim, which is سماع قول ذي اليد. ذو اليد is the one who's in control. Who's in control of this building? Fulan. Who's in control of this shop, this restaurant? Okay, this object here, this car? Someone. ذو اليد means the one who has the control of that place in his hand. Islam gives priority to him or her to say whether this place is najis or not najis, whether this place is ghasb or non-ghasb. It goes to him. It gives a priority to listen to him, and we assume automatically that he's in charge and what he says is correct, even if he's fasiq, not necessarily to be mu'min. He's a fasiq, he drinks alcohol, but it's still because he's in charge. Shaykh al-Tusi says even if he's kafir, not Muslim, but because he's in charge, he has the keys. So he can tell us whether this is clean or not clean, tahir or najis. This is place is permissible, let's say, to pray or not permissible. We have to listen to that.
So say it. So even if you have ilm, you saw.
No. Listen.
This is
Ilm supersedes everything.
Okay, so
This is qat'. We studied qat' in usul. Qat', nothing can challenge qat'. Because you have qat'. This is in case you don't have qat'.
Okay.
Not shak, you don't have qat'. You have ilm, otherwise act accordingly. You don't have ilm, otherwise this is the spokesperson. You listen to him. You listen to him. And there are examples, we will take them inshallah next time. وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.